All right, welcome once again. Allow me to share my presentation slides so that we can start. All right, so before we start today's concept, I just want to touch or recap what we covered last week. So last week we touched one of the paramount concepts in database. We call it normalization. So what we did, or what we covered in that lesson, we touched on the various types of normalization. We said there's 1F, 2NF, and 3F, which is the main priority, which will be tested most. We also covered on the techniques and how you can apply normalization. So first things first was understanding like exactly what normalization is. We said normalization is a systematic approach to decompose, break down tables to eliminate what you call data redundancy, and undesirable characteristics like insertion anomalies in DBMS, update anomaly in DBMS, and delete anomalies in DBMS. We also said why normalization is important before I take it to the next slide. Maybe for those who are there, can just tell us what did we say, or why did we say normalization is important in SQL? Maybe you can just type in the charts. Kindly let me know. Why did we say normalization is important in SQL? Reduce anomaly. Thank you, Mr. George Caesar. Yes, Sharon, amazing. Calvin, thank you. The ones who are commenting. Yeah, so if you're not there, you can just see what our peers are reacting or typing in the chats. Yeah, those are the importance of normalization. Allow me to switch to the next presentation slide. So these are some of the importance of normalization in SQL. Number one is said it reduces what you call redundancy. Redundancy is when the same information is stored multiple times, and a good way of avoiding this is by splitting data into small tables. Okay, we also say it improves query performance, meaning that you can perform faster query execution on smaller tables that have undergone normalization. Another thing, it minimizes update anomalies. With normalization, with normalized table, you can easily update data without affecting other records. It enhances data integrity. It ensures that data remain consistent and accurate. We also said what causes the need for normalization. I remember explaining that and having a difficult time trying to draw them in the Exalidraw, that tool that I had learned. It was really tough. The Exalidraw. So what causes the need for normalization? Yes, in the charts. What causes the need for normalization? Let's see. What causes the need for normalization? Kelvin says difficulty maintaining relationship. That's actually very true. Yes. And Amandi, the same. Data duplication. Yes, Mr. Soita. Minimize cloud storage. Hey, wait, cloud storage, Mr. Densky, great. Now, Grace, difficulty maintaining relationship. Evelyn, duplicate data. All right, I can see you guys are just rotating on one answer. Let me just remind you, we said insertion, deleting, and updating. Normally, it's just the basic CRUD. And we said difficulty in managing relationship. Another thing was transitive and partial dependency. All right, also we covered all the different types of normalization. We said there's first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, BCNF, fourth normal form, and fifth normal form. Maybe before I switch the next slide, maybe guys can just check there. We said there are rules to be followed for anything to be in the first normal form. Maybe who can remind us? Just type in the chat, then I'll mention you and give you a shout out. No duplicate keys. By keys, you mean data. Ensure atomicity, Mr. not Misa. Sorry, apologies. Stella Moretti, the beautiful Stella. Stella. No partial dependency, Victoria. Hey, the ladies are really good at this. Where are the gents? Hey, the gents, man. I haven't seen any gents answer. Hey, it looks like the gents are relaxed. Or the gents are not reading. Gerald, this is the time you send that thunder. The gents are really sleeping. I don't know what they are doing. Ladies first. Oh, Mr. Ian. Okay. All right. All right. See to say.
I've sent it.
Oh.
It's coming. So if you're not interacting, be careful.
Kevin said, Steve Hard, it's ladies' days. Okay, Chelsea, you don't need to shout. Okay, thank you. Thank you for reminding. Thank you. It's Girls ICT Day. Women in check. Yeah. Uniqueness in draw. Brad, nice one. Now, okay, cool. Now, second normal form. We also covered on the second normal form. We said for a table to be in second normal form, it has to follow which rule? Thank you to the ones who are reading the notes. So we said for a table to be in second normal form, it should be, first of all, it should be in the first normal form. And it should not have what you call a partial dependency, where a column depends on another column, what you call a partial dependency. And then finally, we touched again on the third normal form. This should be third, not second. Third normal form, we say the table is said to be in the third normal form when it satisfies the first and the second normal form, and it does not have transitive dependency. Maybe for those who are not there, who can define this term, transitive dependency? Mr. Yeah, anyone who can tell us what transitive dependency is? Transitive. Transitive. Hey, all right. Uh-huh. She, not really. Hey, I guess are giving me generic answers here, eh? Oh, yeah, Stella. Non-key attribute depending on age. Non-key attribute rather than depending directly on the primary. Hey, let's all clear for Stella. Stella Moresi. Stella, make sure before this session ends, I just give you a chance to say hi to the entire class. All right, I can even, yeah. Stella, let's all clap for Stella. Stella Moretti. Hey, Stella, I'm impressed by your answer. That's really impressive, Stella. Thank you for that. Yeah, that was all about last week's content before we went for Easter. Another good news is that Jesus is up. Jesus is in heaven right now. He's seated at the right hand of the Father. Anyway, bad joke. Let's come back to today's content. Now, so today we're going to learn about database, not even database, but database backup. So what you learn at the core of this lesson, you're going to learn how to do the following. Number one, oh, that was a quick switch. All right, let's take like a minute to switch from normalization to now today's content. Backup, yes. Database backup. So today we're going to learn about database backup. Let me share with you the presentation slide because this content is not in the LMS. I shared in the afternoon, I shared this link with someone, and what they did, they changed some content here. Please, if I've shared with you the link, please don't go and start editing things there. Yes. Now you can have the presentation slide. All right, so you're going to understand the importance of backup and different types of backup in SQL. You're also going to differentiate between hot hot like a heater, and cold backups, and then identify when to use each method. You're also going to learn how to use MySQL command line tools like MySQL dump and MySQL for creating and storing backups. Later on, we're going to perform what you call the hands-on activity to backup, restore, migrate MySQL database using real-world scenarios. Okay, let's come to the fun part. Now, maybe if you can tell me in the charts what you understand by the term backup. Yeah, because most of you be using that term. I want to create backup of my school document. I want to create a backup of this and this file. So what exactly is backup? Maybe in your own terms or according to your own definition. Maybe just tell me. Duplicate, creating a copy, nice one, creating a copy, creating copy of the original, copy of your data, nice one. Nice, amazing. The ladies are really today. The gents, you are failing me. All right, cool. Yeah, so let's define or understand the MySQL backup. So in MySQL, you can make backup of an entire database server, including database and configuration file. This is referred to a physical backup. And a tool that we use to do physical backup, if you can allow me to digress, I want to switch from my presentation to a different tool. We call it Persona or Persona. Just depends how you pronounce it. The pronunciation does not matter. What you use it for is what matters. Now, this tool, okay, there's a catch. This tool cannot be installed in Windows. Okay, it's meant to be installed in the Unix type or the Unix kind of operating system. It can only run in Linux and Mac. Okay, so we use this tool for number one, monitoring. Number two, you can use it to perform what you call a physical backup. Okay, so if you want to install it, number one, if you have a Linux, just make sure you have what you call sufficient storage. Number two, make sure you have enough CPU memory. Otherwise, this is gonna use whatever you have there. So don't try if you have 4 gigabytes going down one. It's gonna utilize the entire CPU that you have there. So our main area of focus is here. Even the documentation is written here. Just come and click it, read through. So if you want to install, if you're using a Linux, as you can see, there's no Windows. This tool cannot run in Windows. So but there's a way you can run it in Windows using, you guys remember Docker, right? Yeah, if you want to run this, make sure install Docker. Yeah, but it's not a must that you have it. Maybe you'll use it maybe later on in your software development journey, later on. All right, so let's come back. Learn a different type of backup. We call it the logical backup. Alternatively, you can create a backup of a specific database or table, which is known as a logical backup. So a popular tool for performing a logical backup is MySQL dump, which comes with the default MySQL installation. A logical backup provides you with flexibility, but can take longer to restore than a physical backup. All right, besides logical and physical backup, we can classify the backup based on the database operation state. Okay, so there are two types. Hot, oh, my slides are failing me today. Hot like a heater, and we have cold. Okay, I don't know cold like a what. hot like a heater. Now, as you can see, even this cartoon is touching the database to check if the database is hot. Okay, yeah. Anyway, that is joke. They're not touching the database. Anyway, hot backups are performed while the database is actively running and serving requests. Okay. This method ensures continuous availability and minimal disruption to users during the backup. So this means while people are still interacting with your application or people are still using MySQL, you as the database administrator, you as the backend engineer, you as the engineer, you go and start creating a backup, okay? Even if people are currently using MySQL database. It does not matter which relational database that you have. What it matters is whichever relational database that you have, you just performing a backup while people are still using it. Whether it's Postgre, SQL, Maria, whichever. Yeah, those are the only ones I've interacted with. Relational. Postgres, MySQL, and Maria. So the commands that we've taught you from week 1 up to which week are we in? Yeah, the week that we're in currently. Okay, today. You can try them even in Postgres, it will work. You can try them in Maria, they will work. Create table statement is the same in relational database. Okay, let's learn about hot backup. Now, cold, oh, okay, we touched on hot. Cold now. Cold backup are performed when the database is offline and no write operation occurs. This ensures a consistent snapshot of the entire database at the point of backup. So there are two types of backup, logical and physical. But for you to perform what you call a backup, you need to check the state that the database is in currently. Is the database running? Is the database offline? Now, if the database is offline, we go with cold. If the database is online, we go with what? Hot like a heater. Restoring a database. So to restore is just restoring from a backup in case something has happened to your database. All right, time for hands-on. So I'll switch out of my presentation slide and then share with you guys a link to our repo. So once you have this link, just open it. Don't do anything. Number one, do not fork, do not clone. I've just said, open it in a browser, just opening. So once you access the link, please just access it. Yeah, I've shared the link. Yeah, you can just check a thumbs up if you've accessed the GitHub repo. You are reading the same GitHub as me. I've shared the link in the chat. The link is in the chat. Those who are raising their hand, the link is in the chat. Please pay attention to the chat. The link is in the chat. I just want you to access, not clone, not fork, just access. Thank you so much for that information. All right, so before I even start executing the first command, okay, let's open, all of us, let's open our SQL workbench. So I'll locate mine and then open it. There is mine, right? Believe it's visible for everyone. So locate yours. Yes, locate yours and then open it. There is mine, right? So you locate yours. Take the shortest time to do that. And then once you've done that, react to the thumbs up. All right, so have we all accessed our workbench? We good? We can go to the next step. Have you all opened your SQL workbench? All right, cool. Now, first things first, come back to the repo. Now that you've already opened your SQL workbench, just leave it the way it is. As you can see, mine is blank, okay? Just leave it the way it is. Come back to the repo in your browser. Now scroll down a little bit. Come to where it's written, how to backup and restore a database in MySQL. And then you'll find the commands written for you, create database, HR. So here we're starting with creating a database. And then we're telling the server, which database do we want to work with? Now, once we do that, we create a table and then we store random data in that table. Okay? Now, what I want you to do is click this icon to copy. The icon is here on the top right, or towards the right of the create database HR, there. Once you've copied, please switch back again to the workbench and then Control V. If you're not able to Control V, just click or right click, paste. So you'll have the same thing as me. Yeah, if you've already pasted, you can just hit the thumbs up. I know we are together in this. I know that you're following along. The one who's asking where I've gotten the commands, I said you copy the commands from GitHub repo, you bring them to SQL Workbench. You're just copying, you're not even writing to it. Copy, paste, copy, paste. That's all. All right, so believe we all at the same pace. Now, how do we execute? 1, 2, 3. Click execute, and then you get all the green checks. So you get create database HR, use HR, create table statements, and all that. So all that we need to do is just refresh, then HR will appear here. There it is. So first step, okay, we want to create a backup of this database that you just created. Feel free to use any other database that you have. If you don't like the HR, you can work with any, just feel free, okay? Yeah, what I want you to do is be confident when writing the commands. So feel free to try out with any other database that you have there. But if you don't have any, just use the example that I'm using. Now we've created the HR database. We can see it has all that data. Now the next step, open CMD. How do you open CMD? For all the Windows user, click Windows logo and then write CMD. Linux, Mac, open shell or open terminal. So my CMD looks like that. All right, let's take like 30 seconds to fire up our CMD. We good on the CMD part? All right, cool. So first things first. Now, the next step is written here, backing up a database. So all that is required of you is to click your mouse, come back to the CMD. Now, for me, I like having all my files in a place that I can easily access them, which is the desktop. So I'll CD the desktop. If you're using Windows 10 going forward, it's the same way. But if you're using Windows 11, I don't know, is there Windows 12? Windows 11, please, your desktop is in the OneDrive. So you need to start with CD OneDrive and then desktop if you want to have the same file in your desktop. All right, believe you're all at the same place. The reason why I'm going to the desktop is because I can easily locate the file that will be created. But if you don't like the file being at the desktop, you can switch. Maybe go to documents or even downloads. It all depends with you, where you feel comfortable. Okay, you have the powers now. Now, I said I like mine being in the desktop, so I'll just go press enter. So remember I copied it from GitHub. So my next step is to control V, and then it appears like that. Okay, so once you've done that, you press enter, you'll be prompted to enter a password. This password is the same with the one you had to input when you're installing MySQL Server. So I'll pass in my password, you pass yours. If yours is 1234, write 1234. If yours is welcome at 2024 or Kenya at 50, write that. There. So we are done with step one. Just that simple. We've created a backup. Now, if I minimize all that, you can see the HR database is here, right? hr.sql, the file that you created. Why is it in the desktop? Because I specified it in the terminal to be created where? In the desktop. If I wanted it to be in the document, that means I'll have to go to my file explorer, locate it, or in the downloads, locate it. So the file is here. Has it been generated? For those who are following along. So you can react to the thumbs up if you have the same file as me, hr.sql. All right, cool. Now, time to test if this backup actually has data. So allow me to switch back again to my SQL workbench. Please come back to SQL workbench. Now, we are going to do what? Since this is the table, this is how the table looks like. It has 5 rows, right? Let's delete like 2 rows or even 3 or even all of them, and then try to create a backup. So what if I delete the entire table? So the table has disappeared, right? The table has disappeared. So we want to see, can we recover the table from the backup that we just created? Let's come back to GitHub. The next step is to restore a database. So copy that, come back to the terminal, Control V, like that, press enter, access denied because password was wrong. There. So I've restored from a backup, right? Let's verify if the table is there. There it is. So once you've restored, just need to come back and refresh, and then you'll see the table again. You can try this until you understand. Just try even deleting a row and try delete this row, try to restore again, see if you'll get the same result from a backup. All right, so the next step, we've actually covered the backup and restoring, right? Restoration. Now, if, for example, I've even written the commands for you to, if you want, maybe you see, like for me, I have multiple database, right? They're like I can't even count. There are so many. What if I want to have a backup of all this? I just need to execute one command, this one, copy, and then come and paste it there. Press enter, pass in your password, watch the magic happen now. That it has created for me. I just need to minimize this and actually verify it's there. Now this file contains all the database that I have. We can even try by deleting a few database and then try to restore from this. Now, just storing these files like this is not usually safe. So you need like another storage, okay, in a different area, because you never know, something might happen to, maybe if this computer is in your workstation and then you've added all your backups in that workstation. What if that day there's fire breakout at your company or your organization? Then all this, you lost all that. Maybe you created backup for HR database, maybe every week or on a daily, and then saving those files in your computer. What will happen if there's fire or there's floods? So it is usually a good practice to store this file somewhere else. Let's say you can even get what you call an S3 storage from AWS or a blob. S3 from AWS. This is cloud. So you can try to get a storage container and then you can be paying based, they're actually cheaper. Okay. Another one for Asia people is Blob. Is it Blob? I might be wrong. Storage. Okay, let me get the correct one. Asia S3 type. Yeah, actually it's Blob. Blob storage. So you can store those files here if you have a cloud account. All right. So the next step is where? So I've also created for you a sample database that you can work with and then try. Now, there's another concept called this one, point in time recovery. This one is hot. If you get to understand the way it works, you can call yourself a DBA, database administrator. So, this is the point that I ask you to stop whatever you're doing and then just pay attention to what I'll do, okay? Because point in time can only be done in a Linux server or in a Linux kind of operating system. So if you have a Mac, well and good. If you have a Linux, well and good. Windows, not possible. So the reason why we are showing the point in time is because when you've been hired as a front end, okay, not a front end, but as a backend engineer or a developer, you need to know like how to do some point in time recovery. Also, the company that you'll be working for, most of them deploy their projects in a Linux kind of operating system. So it doesn't matter if you're using a Windows right now or a Linux. All that is needed for you is to know like how to perform what you call point in time recovery using the commands that I'll teach you. Once you do this, you'll feel like super, yes, like this guy. So let's try. Just let me stop sharing for 1 minute. I need to get something real quick. All right. Yeah, let me share now. Gotten it? There. So I'm back. So I was just getting a server's IP. Now I'll need to switch to my this one, Git bash. I need to SSH using secure shell. I is for identity, the person who's trying to sign in. That's the key. And then is the user. That is my server's IP. There, I've logged in. Now, the next step is to change to be a super user. And then once I've done that, I'll need to update this machine. Yeah, for this part, you just sit down and write down the commands that I'll be using, note them somewhere. So first things first is to update any server. So this is not my Windows. I'm in a different computer now. I'm just using now Windows as a host. So the next step, once we've updated our machine, is to install what you call MySQL Server. Okay, there. Now, It's done. Great. Now, the command to install MySQL Server is apt install MySQL Server, just like that. So you also need to know like how to deploy projects in a server. So what we've just created is what we call an managed database. There's a managed database. We'll cover that later. So this is what we call unmanaged database. Higher. Now the next step is to try to sign into MySQL just like that. Show databases there. So we are in, right? Now I'll need to come back to the repo. Copy this HR. Okay. And then come back to the server. I'll need to paste in whatever I've just copied and then press enter. Just like that. Use HR, show tables to list all the tables that you have inside HR. As you can see, tables in HR is employees. If I write select all from employees, what do I get? I get all that. Now, this is how the data looks in a server. I know it's not that appealing, but it's actually the best. So the next step is try to delete some data unintentionally, okay? So what will happen if I write this? And then I press enter. Maybe on this particular day, something happened. You just forget to pass in the where condition and add some other kind of ID, unique identifiers, so that you get like the exact row to be deleted. On this day, you just write quickly. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you forgot, because we are human. Sometimes we forget, right? So if I try to select everything from employees, I get what? Everything has been deleted. Now this is the part where you start sweating. You've deleted the company's data. Eh? I know right now I'm using 5 rows, but it'll come a scenario. You get 100,000 of records, you've deleted them. That day, you're going to wish the world to split apart. Right now, you can laugh. Actually, by the way, it happens. I, let me just teach you. Now, we've deleted by mistake. As I say, it was by mistake. That day, I don't know, you just write the commands anyhow, and then by mistake, you delete the data without even letting the drop. Now, even if I try how many times to write select, there's nothing that's coming back. Hey, now this is the point. This is the point where you start trying to look for a reason to explain to your supervisor what just happened. Now, the first things first, you write this command: show global variables like log bin, and then you press enter. I'll tell you what it means. So show global variables like log bin. When you execute this command, you're checking if binary log has been enabled in the SQL server. Now, the next step or the next command is very, very important. Right? Show master status. Now with this one, it will tell you the binary log number. Okay. So depending with the number of commands that you've executed, because for us, we created a database, we inserted the database, we data to the database, and then we deleted. So it just generated for us bin log 03. Now, since right now the database does not have anything, I can even go ahead and delete drop database HR because it doesn't have anything. So show databases. Okay. And then the next step is to exit out of the server and think of how you're going to explain to your supervisor what you just did. Now, this is the part where you stare at the screen. Okay. So when you install MySQL Server, it comes with this tool called MySQL bin log. So if I try to execute, as you can see, it's giving me kind of things to explain or what it expects. All this, it expects kind of stop date time, start position. It can do a lot of things with MySQL bin log. Okay, I don't know why it's not readable. Let me try to find it again. There, nice. So as you can see, it can do a lot of things. These are some of the things you can do with this MySQL bin log. So once you get yourself familiar with the command or the command line, you'll always be in a better place. Yeah, this one I'm not lying. Just make yourself familiar with the command line. I tell you, your life as a software developer, it will be easy, 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 easy. Because most of the things that you execute, you don't need to see them. You just need to have faith they are going to be executed. So your work is just write the commands in the terminal. So clear? Now let's start now. So what I want to write is MySQL bin log, and then passing verbose to get like more detail on what actually happened. I need to point MySQL bin logs to the logs where the logs are usually generated for any server or MySQL server. And then bin log dot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 zeros and 3. I'll search for anything that was written, delete by a user. And then we get what? We get that. So the server reads for us the logs, we get the logs. If you want to see like how the data was deleted one by one, you can pass this flag and write that, and then pass it like that. The server is gonna tell you. This is how the server started deleting the data. Delete from employees, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. And all the data was gone. So I'm teaching you this method for you not to panic when your time comes. Now, the next step is to recover the rows and the entire database using the same MySQL bin log. Okay, I forgot to tell you where to get the date time, but let me just write it. So when I executed this command, it generated for me the time these commands were executed. As you can see, it's written here. So if you pay attention to all this log, it is written in the server ID1 and log pos 1604 SRC 32 X5A and all that. Delete rows, table ID, 90 flags, SMT, and I also don't know what this means. My main area of focus is here. This one, these two, 2025-04, 16-27-32. That's the server time, this one, because we're trying to point in time recovery. So it was 2025, the month, date, space, the time is 16, colon, 27, colon, 32, close it, okay? Specify where the variable, libraries, the MySQL, bin log is, and then redirect that to what you call MySQL. Then you press enter, just like that. Now, if I log back to the server and then write show databases, I see what? HR, use HR, show tables, select all from tables. Okay, I'm way ahead of my time. Select all from employees. And what do we end up seeing? The data has been recovered. I've saved you. I've saved you. Anyway, so yeah, once you get to understand all the commands that I've done, you'll feel like, where are the slides? This guy. Yeah, you'll feel like this guy. Superman. Yes. Now, checkpoint questions. Can I get someone to read for us the checkpoint question? It's ladies' days, right? So Susan, Mwarabu, Susie. Yes, Susan. Or you guys need a break, a 1 minute break to think what we've just covered. We can listen to music for 1 minute and then Susan gonna read for us what we've just the checkpoint question. So allow me to switch. So I don't know how many of you have Node.js installed. If you don't have, it's okay. Just say, if you don't have Node.js, I don't have. How many of you have Node.js? If you don't have, it's okay. I'll not go to that project. Okay. Yeah, so I'll count the people who do not have and then balance with the people who have. Okay, let's see. One minute break. All right, I'm back. Like I never left. So Susie. Yes, Susan. Read for us the checkpoint question. Hey, Susan has ghosted us. Deborah Kitet.
Okay, the first checkpoint is what is the logical backup in MySQL?
All right. Yes, we've covered the various types of backup in SQL. We've said there's what? There's logical and physical, right? So maybe please tell us in the chats what you think physical backup is. Oh, not sorry, not physical, but logical backup. All right, Rickens, man's like Ricken says backup to specific database. Example, yeah, with a create statement. Ismail, yeah, nice one, Ismail, nice one, Ricken. John, thank you. Noah, hey, the men's come strong at this point, eh? Hey, the man's like Kelvin. All right, cool. The second one, Deborah.
What is the difference between a hot backup and a cold backup?
Hot like a heater. Yeah, we've just touched base on the different state of the database. We said is you have to check whether the database is hot like a heater and then cold like a heater. Okay, not cold like a shower. So we said with hot, let me read what you guys are writing here. Performed while the database is still on. Ruth H. Nice one. Um, okay. Vicky Blessings. When the data is offline. Vicky, we have your blessings, Vicky. Eh? Mr. Steve. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mary. Nice one. Robinson. Amazing. Yeah. The next one. Deborah.
Which MySQL command line utility is used to create a backup?
Yep. Which MySQL command line utility is used to create a backup? Hey, Rickens. Ruth. Rickens again. Rickens. Hey, Rickens. You've really gone strong on this part, eh? Nice one. Delphine. Ismail. Eliud. Shout out to everyone who I'm mentioning. Godswill. Nice one. Fidel. Charles. Amazing. Now the final one.
What is a physical backup in MySQL?
Yes. Now, what's physical backup in SQL? What's physical backup? Rickens. Ish. Rickens. Rickens, we are really good at this, eh? All right. All right, cool. So yeah, that's it. Can we all clap for Deborah? Yeah, let's react to the claps for Deborah. She has done an amazing job. Thank you so much, Deborah. Do you have anything to add on, Deborah?
I don't have anything to add. Thank you so much.
Ah, cool. Great. Amazing. So the next point is now that you guys have said you don't have Node.js, I don't know if you should do the project. I don't even to ask if you have Python. You say, yeah, I know you say you don't have Python, so there's no point of even asking. So let's call it a day. Just this. Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, before you sleep, guys, just hold on a little bit. Oh, before you leave, Let me check something. There's something that I need to communicate about. Please just make sure kindly before you leave, just leave your feedback here, please, for us to improve our services to you. Now, someone else was to read for us. I'm in the wrong page now. So let's see if we can do one project and then call it a night, because we still have some few minutes to spare. Okay, I'm trying to look for my slides. There. Can I get okay, it's Ladies' Day, yeah. Girls City. Can I get another lady in tech to read for us? Hilda. Lokwawi. Hilda.
Yes. Thank you.
Hi, Hilda, yes.
Key
Hey, Hilda,
takeaway.
wait, your mic. Hilda, move closer
Yes.
to your router.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Now. Hey.
No?
Try again.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Hey, your mic is really failing us here. Eh? Okay. Let me give it to someone else. Don't worry, I'll still come back to you. Now, Nicole. Hey, Nicole. Yes, Nicole. Yes. Nicole. Nicole has disappeared. Hey. Hey, there's another Hilda. Wow. Okay, we have so many Hilda. Hilda, the other Hilda. The name starts with R. Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, Hilda. Are you the same Hilda?
No.
Okay. Would you like to read?
Yes, I'd like to read.
Yeah, okay, go on.
Okay. Point 1, use point-in-time recovery
Wait.
to restore. Can you hear me?
And you're breaking. Well, could you
You're-
kindly move closer to your router?
Okay. You're also breaking on your end. Let me read it again. Use
We are really
use
struggling. Yeah.
use point-in-time recovery.
Hey, ladies in tech, I've given you a chance. Guys, the internet today is failing you. Eh? Marceline, Jeff. Okay. Marceline, yes, Marceline. If Marceline network also has issues,
No,
switch
mine
back
is
to
okay.
James.
Zablon, it's yours that has issues.
Hi. Hey, all the ladies' mics today, what's up?
Zablon, it's your network.
I swear. Hey, patience. All right, so now I don't know. Banis, this is the final for now. Banis.
Yes.
Hey, is it my mic or is it my network? You guys are breaking.
I'm ready to read.
All right, let's get Jen to read for us. Ones like Rickens. Where's Rickens? Oh, Stella, I've not forgotten about you. Where is Stella?
Zablon, you're the one who is breaking.
It's on my end.
It was on your end.
Hey, you're really breaking. Okay, go on.
You're
'Cause
the
you
one who is
can
breaking,
hear.
Zablon.
I'm the one who's breaking.
You're the one who has been breaking ever since. Since you started the Hilda. You have been breaking.
Since-
Hilda.
Hey, let me check my router. Just give me a minute. How about now?
You're okay. You're okay.
All right. Yeah, just read for us now that you're here.
Okay, thank you. Use point-in-time recovery to restore a MySQL database to a specific time in the past. Point number 2, restore database from a full backup and restore to a specific time from the binary log to perform a point-in-time recovery. Point number 3 is use the MySQL command to restore database file created by the MySQL dump program. Point number 4 is use the MySQL dump program to make a backup of one or more tables from a database. The last one is use the MySQL dump program to back up a database on a MySQL server.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Rickens. I know we have not touched what we agreed last week, but I promise you, I'll make sure we cover it. Okay? It's still one of my top priorities, Rickens. I will. Now, yeah, so let's just do one project, then we go home. One. Yeah, I'm not doing two. So one. Let's do lab 7. So if you can allow me to just do it, and then you see how I've done it, and then you can just go and do it. So all the commands are written here if you want to do it. So first things first, I'll just come and copy that and send it to you if you want also to do it. Please just make sure you write something in that feedback form. Don't leave if not written there, because we'll not know if we've assisted you or if you're facing a challenge. You just make sure you react in the form. Now I've shared the GitHub repo. Now, first things first, I'll need to open the terminal, this Windows terminal. I'll write CLS, I'll write git clone, paste the link that I've copied, press enter. So once it has been downloaded, I'll cd lab 7, okay? And yeah, I know I'm rushing because I said, you just look at how I'll do it, because I've realized that quite a number of you do not have Node.js installed. So there's no point of waiting for everyone to settle in if a huge number do not have Node.js installed. So just watch how I'll do it. You can always refer back to the video, the recorded video, if you have Node.js installed. Then you can always try the project. npm install to install all the dependencies like that. Great. Now I'll open it in my VS Visual Studio Code. All right, so first things first, I'll come to this file that's written in index and then pass in my password. Save. Now I'll need a database that is called Gallery. So I'll come back to Workbench, create a new database called Gallery. I'll also need to create a table, a simple table. The command is here. You just come and copy that. So once you've done that, I think we are good to go. We did that. npm install, npm start. Okay. So this is the wrong one. Right there. So npm start. We started the Node.js. Now I'll need to fire up the front end built using React. So This is the front end is the client. So I'll open a different terminal. CD client, npm I install. First of all, install all the dependencies that you need to run this project. So this is a simple project that you can use to store images in MySQL server. You can use it to retrieve and display it for the normal user. So npm run dev. Don't worry about this command. These commands you're going to be taught in your web classes soon or later. But I'm sure you've been taught how to install Node.js. I don't know. Localhost. What am I writing now? Localhost 5173. There, so that's how it looks like. So I'm trying to mimic a regular user, how a regular user will access any site and then try to upload an image, right? So I have 2 images downloaded here. So I can just come and open, upload. There it is. Browse another one, open, upload, browse, open, upload. Those are 3 different images. If you go to SQL Server and then try to locate the gallery database, the table, there you'll find the images are there. So as you can see, in the time they were created, there they are, they've been stored. So that is all about it. Nothing simple, nothing hard. It's very, very simple. Use it as a foundational, as a tool or anything to learn or complement your knowledge to see how you can use MySQL to integrate with other programming languages and develop something magnificent. Yeah, so if you're watching the recording, this is where the class ends, and then I'll take in the question.